We have lots of challenges, of course, as we continue to go through the revolution. The expectations, of course, are very, very high. All the people, everybody think that after a revolution, salaries will be tripled, health care should be afforded immediately, everything you can imagine. And there is now, they know the road to the street, and everybody is in the street right now, calling for something or the other. And that, how to manage these expectations when you know that it will take time, to build the country and build the economy and social network and social cohesion. But that's part of the problem we are facing. And we need the law and order. The law and order is very important. Unfortunately, the regime before they left, they used a scorched earth approach. They send thugs to kill the young people. We lost like 400 or 500 people who got killed. They withdrew completely police force. So for like a week or two, civilians had to protect their homes and their districts. We were disconnected from the internet and the SMS and everything. We disconnected from the world for a week because this was the way people were communicating. They wanted to show that if Mubarak were to go, chaos will ensue. Luckily, people did not buy that. And again, they forced everybody that there is no option but Mubarak to go. And even after Mubarak to go, millions were in street to ensure that his prime minister and his government will go. Now, we still, as I said, we have to make sure that we build again law and order. Police started to come back to the streets. It's not yet appropriate, but that's one of the issues we still have to face. What to do with central security? We had 1.4 million person central security system. So you visit some of their headquarters right now, and it makes your heart bleed. Six floor underground of little dungeons where people were detained for years and years without trial. The media is of course a major issue because the media was completely government controlled, and media is key in a country like Egypt or like India, to get the facts, to get the truth, to get the other point of view. And we still have to do complete cleanup of all the television, newspaper editors, editor-in-chief. That has started, but it's not yet there, And of course, as you can imagine, in many revolution before, people become a chameleon. Immediately he is a pro-revolution, a guy who was absolutely pro-Mubarak a day before. So we have to deal with all of this. The issue of retribution, people are angry, of course, but we do not want to emulate a regime we got rid of it. We want to have a due process. We want to have, even if trial were to go, we need a due process trials, before civilian courts and not military courts, as many of the civilians under Mubarak regime used to go to military courts. We would like, I at least keep saying that we need to look forward. We do not need to look backward. And we would like to look like something like what, Truth and Conciliation Committee in South Africa, or what happened in Chile, for example. I mean, we need to reconcile. Crimes, of course, has to be punished, but corruption, money that siphoned in the billions and billions of dollars, has to come back, and then people can let go, and let's look forward. Remnants of the old regime are still there, not all of them, at least half the cabinet and the regime are in prison, but we would like to see the other half also go to the prison to at least to make sure that everybody is out of the way. And we keep pushing on that. These are some of the challenges we face, but there's a lot of opportunities. Economic development is fantastic in Egypt. Investment will come, in leaps and bounds if Egypt is stable, if Egypt is a democracy. I just had a meeting a couple of days ago with 15 young Egyptians in their 20s and 30s who come to me with what they call a vision for Egypt, a fantastic vision, how to make sure of use of tourism which we have, how to make sure of the, the location of Egypt, how to make sure of the logistic services we can provide. So there's a lot of opportunities, but we need to settle down. We need to go through a smooth and orderly transition, and then we need to say Egypt is ready for business. Social cohesion is one other issue. You probably heard again of civil strife between Copts and Muslims. Before, this is something which we never happened. We never even were aware whether somebody is a Copt, Jewish, Muslim, Shiite, Sunni. But in a repressive regime, it brings the worst in people. It brings aggression, it brings a sense of humiliation, and it always makes you, I think, look for a scapegoat. I always say, what the difference between Mother Teresa and suicide bomber is the environment. Is the environment within which you grow up. You are not born, a suicide bomber. You are made a suicide bomber. And I think in a democracy, when people are able to express their views, are able to have a system by which a majority can have their say, but a system that protects the minorities, a very powerful, robust judicial system that protects the minorities, a people who understand the meaning of tolerance, that we are condemned to live together. We have our difference of views. We have different religion, different beliefs, but we have to live together. We have to respect each other. What we have together is much, much more than what separates us. That's something you understand here in India. We still have to understand in Egypt. A tolerant society, multi-ethnic society, is usually the most tolerant, and part of the problem in Egypt, in that we are pretty much homogenic, and that to me, as I look at the big picture, is not a good thing. The more multi-ethnic, the more multicultural, you are bound to be tolerant because you know that you have to live with everybody else. But that's maybe part also of the problem in the Arab world, that we are very much homogenic. So our values will change, and lots of the values I grew up with, tolerance, respect, social solidarity, have been crushed. But crushed inside the person. They are not gone. They came out very fast with the revolution. And as I said, you look at the people now, they are different people. Yes, there's a lot of challenges. Yes, there's a lot to work on. But we are on the right track. We have been liberated from, as I call it, Akbar, a local occupation. It was not a foreign occupation. It was a local occupation. And that's even worse from colonization, because it's one of your own who are colonizing you.